Okay, let's start. Okay, so we are the last topics of our biopharmaceutics, and the penultimate lecture is about drug product performance. So we have already talked about DISO, BCS, biopharmaceutic performance. Now we're going to talk about drug product performance. So, nababanggit ko na ito before, but what exactly is drug product performance? So when we say drug product performance, it is the ability to release the drug substance and to make it bioavailable. So pag sinabi nating drug product performance, gaano kaganda ang ating dosage form na mag-deliver ng gamot sa ating katawan. Not only in terms of stability, but most importantly is in bioavailability. So kailangan nating masukat ang ating drug product performance para masabi natin na effective ang ating formulation or superior ang ating formulation. Ang unang sukat ng ating drug product performance ay ang ating bioavailability studies. Hulaan nyo kung anong inaaral. Bioavailability. Oh, napakagaling, di ba? Now, in terms of bioavailability studies, we conduct this to know how well our drug delivers the drug into the body, or how our drug product delivers its effect on the body. Itong mga to, ginagamit natin sa development ng generic drug products. We're trying to determine if bioavailability is similar across branded and generic medications. So, bioavailability is the aspect of drug product quality that links in vivo performance of a new drug product to the original formulation. Okay? Paano ginagamit ito? Okay? Ang isang advantage class ng paggawa ng generic is that it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to make generics. Bakit? Kasi hindi kayo magbubuhos ng oras sa safety and efficacy studies. Okay? Like for example, gagawa ka ng generic na semaglutide. Okay? Alam ng buong mundo na nagana ang semaglutide. Okay? Ang kailangan mo na lang patunayan ay pag gumawa ka ng dosage form, ang bioavailability niya ay pareho. At ang importante pa, hindi mo na kailangan patunayan na safe siya, at hindi mo na rin kailangan patunayan na effective siya. Kasi nga, napatunayan na po siya nung ating branded na product. Kaya pag nagko-compare tayo or nagawa tayo ng generic drug products, safety and efficacy is already taken care of. Kaya nga abbreviated new drug application. Ang kailangan nyo na lang ipakita ay bioavailability. Ang specific na test is called our bioequivalence study. Pag sinabi nating bioequivalence or bioequivalent, this is when two drug products have similar bioavailability. Meaning they can exhibit the same expected outcome when we give them to our patients. Usually, class, pag nagba-bioequivalence tayo, we compare two drug products. Pwedeng branded generic, generic sa generic, formulation A, formulation B. Pero mostly, pag sinasabing bioequivalent, we are almost always referring to the branded or the innovator drug. Okay? The thinking is, kapag pareho tayo ng bioavailability, ng ating innovator drug product, goods na. Same na yung intended effect. That is the reason why generic drug products have looser requirements. Okay. Now, pag sinabi natin new drug application, bagong gamot. Meron tayong new drug at meron tayong abbreviated. Yung abbreviated, yun ay pang generic. ANDA, ang tawag, ANDA. Kapag NDA, new drug application, that is for new drugs, like literal new drugs. Wala pa sa market, ikaw ang una. So, anong ginagamit? So, paano ginagamit ang bioequivalence sa NDA? Una, early and late clinical trial formulations. Habang nagde-develop ka ng gamot at nag-clinical trial ka, nag-iiba yung recipe, nag-iiba yung parameters, nag-iiba yung formulation. So, nagpe-perform tayo ng bioavailability studies to make sure na similar sila in terms of their expected bioavailability. Sunod, comparing clinical trials and stability studies if different. Baka po nung ginawa yung gamot, iba yung pang-stability at iba din po ang ating pang-clinical trial. Spot check tayo, yung Bautistang naka-blue. Anong guidelines ang sinusunod natin for drug stability studies? Physical pharmacy was just second sem. Anong pangalan ng guidelines na yan? Kahit abbreviation laang. International ICH. Okay. These are standards for harmonization. Pare-pareho po tayo ng stability standards for our drugs. Okay? Question. Ikaw, gaano katagal ang accelerated stability study? Accelerated. Gaano katagal? Kinakalimutan ng pre-farm. Hula! Gaano katagal? Sa tingin mo, how long does it take to perform accelerated stability studies? 10 ano? 10 years? Panis na yung patent ng ginagawa mo. Gaano? 10 ano? 10 days? 10 months. Mali. 6 months po ang accelerated. 6 months. Ikaw, Ms. Godoy. Gaano kainit ang cabinet ng accelerated stability study? Gaano kainit? Bigyan mo ako ng temperature. 37. Malapit na ang 37 pero short ka pa. 30. Ikaw, sa tingin mo? 30. 40! 40 po. Relative humidity ay 70. Okay? Pag kayo ay pumasok ng drug formulation, dapat alam nyo yon by heart. May specific na cabinet, ilalagay mo lang doon, babalikan mo lang naman kung nasisira yung gamot. Okay. So, in cases na, iba yung binibigay mo sa clinical trials at iba yung inaalay mo sa stability studies, compare mo ang pinagkaiba ng bioavailability. Isa pa, kung iibahin mo pa yung pang clinical trials at saka yung ating pang drug product, yung as actual na gagawin, there is a chance na iibahin mo pa yung formulation. Kasi kung clinical trials, alam mo kasing controlled yung environment ng gamot. So, pwedeng mas fragile yung gamot natin. And product strength equivalence as appropriate. Kung nag-iiba din tayo ng strengths, take for example, meron kang 500, meron kang 1,000, yun, compare mo din. Okay? Post-approval. Pag sinabi nating post-approval, di binigyan ka na ni FDA, pwede mo nang ibenta ang iyong gamot. Pwede ka pa rin po magbasa ng kailangan natin for bioavailability and bioequivalence. Ano yung mga kailangan natin? Wait. Ito, meron tayong mga major changes. Example is, nagpalit kayo ng formulation, nagpalit kayo ng site of manufacture, nagpalit kayo ng equipment na ginagamit, kailangan nyo po magpasa ng post-approval changes. Okay? Now, kapag po nagawa tayo ng drug product performance or bioequivalent studies, gumagamit tayo ng normal human volunteers kapag bioavailability. Pero, pwede naman po minsan tayong gumamit na lang ng dissolution profiles. Okay. Ms. Corneja, anong binibigay ng FDA para hindi na kailangan mag-perform ng in vivo bioequivalence testing or bioavailability study? Anong permit yon? Biowaivers. If you are granted a biowaiver, you need not perform in vivo studies. Okay? Kapag naman po anda ang usapan, meaning generic na ang inyong minamanufacture, kailangan pa rin po ng bioequivalent studies, pero kailangan nyo lang pong ipatunay sa FDA na ang bioavailability mo at ang bioavailability ng innovator product ay similar. A generic drug product is a multi-source drug product that has been approved by FDA as a therapeutic equivalent. Hindi mo na kailangan magpatunay ng safety at efficacy. Okay? Sa tunay naman, wala namang pipigil sa inyo. Kung gusto nyo gumawa, take for example, ng sarili nyong gamot, example, gusto nyo bumili ng semaglutide, bago bibilhin nyo na lang yung peptide, i-reconstitute nyo na lang, then ibebenta yung syringe. Wala naman pong pipigil sa inyo nun. Kaso, hindi mo pwedeng ibenta sa open market kasi protected siya by patents. Pero kung dyan lang sa gilid, compounding pharmacy ka, pwede naman po. So, since the formulation and method of manufacture is different, hindi nyo po pwedeng gayahin yung eksaktong formula ng branded drug product. At hindi rin nyo po pwedeng gayahin yung eksaktong batch manufacturing record ng ating competitor or ng ating innovator. So, kailangan nyo gumawa ng inyo. Kailangan nyo mag-formulate ng inyo. And most of the time, you need to prove to the FDA that you are pharmaceutically equivalent. We will talk about this later. Bioequivalent and therapeutically equivalent. Mag-uusapan natin yung tatlong terms na yan mamaya. Okay. Drug product performance for oral generic medications is usually performed in vivo bioequivalent studies. So, pwede kayong kumuha ng tao para patunayan na bioequivalent kayo. Ms. Herrera, kung tayo ay nagpa-perform ng in vivo, meaning may tao, paano mo masasabi na bioequivalent ang dalawang drug products? May tao ha, may tao. So, ano yung data mo na kailangan ipakita na sila ay bioequivalent? Plasma level concentration ba? Hindi, may tao. Dissolution, hindi. Konti pa. May kinalaman sa plasma level concentration, pero kulang ang sagot mo. Plasma level concentration will only show part of a picture. What is a better measure? Pag marami kang plasma level concentration, ano mabubuo mo? Ano? Example, kumuha kang 3 beses ng dugo, may 3 kang point. AUC. If you compare the AUCs of 2 medications, you could get relative bioavailability. So you could establish bioequivalence. Kaso yung method na yan ay mahal. Kaya kung pwede, kung may biowaiver ka lang din naman, ang ipapasa nyo na lang ay dissolution. Okay? So ano ba ang purpose ng ating bioequivalence at bioavailability? So these are important during the process of marketing or pagpapa-approve sa FDA. So again, bioavailability is defined as the rate and extent that a drug reaches systemic circulation and becomes available at the site of action. When we say relative bioavailability, it is when we compare 2 drug products. We have absolute, which is versus IV, and we have relative, which is dosage form to dosage form, or formulation to formulation. Bioequivalence is when it is a type of relative bioavailability studies in which we try to compare 2 products and try to establish that they have similar bioavailability. Bioequivalence is defined as the absence of significant difference in the rate and extent in which the active ingredient or active moiety becomes available. So bioequivalence is defined as the absence of significant difference in bioavailability. In short, para maging bioequivalent, dapat pareho ang kanilang bioavailability. Okay? So bioavailability studies are important because every time that we change something in the dosage form, it can lead to a difference in product performance. Kaya pag may kinalikot kayo sa formulation nyo, automatic magpapakita kayo ng bioavailability study. Kung kayo'y may biowaiver, edi madali lang. Pasa ka lang ng pasa ng dissolution. Kung hindi, edi kuha ka ng tao. Pamahal ang iyong gamot. So bioequivalent studies are used to perform bioavailability. Pag nagpapalit tayo ng gamot, nagpapalit tayo ng formulation, or kahit magpalit lang tayo ng crystalline form, kailangan nyo ipakita na same lang po ang kanilang bioavailability. Definition ng importante dito. When we say bioavailability and bioequivalence, these are performance measures of drug product in vivo. So when we say drug product performance, dalawa ang pwede nating isagot. It's either bioavailability or bioequivalence. Yun lang naman talaga ang sukat ng drug product performance. How well your drug can deliver it. The FDA assumes that if your drug product are pharmaceutically equivalent, bioequivalent, therapeutically equivalent, then automatically, pareho na rin po kayo ng safety at ng efficacy. At pwede na po siyang isubstitute sa isa't isa. Okay? The FDA and we as a whole believe that if you can show your drug product is bioavailable, bioequivalent, therapeutically equivalent, and pharmaceutically equivalent, they are substitutes for one another. Okay? So pag tinanong kayo, anong pinagkaiba ng generic sa branded, pwede nyong isagot yan. Kaso, ang makakaintindi lang din naman niyan ay tayo-tayo lamang din naman. Kaya po, mahirap minsan ipaliwanag sa doktor na pareho lang ang generic at branded. Kasi meron sila minsang experience na taliwas sa ating paniniwala. Although ang paniniwala naman natin is grounded by theory. Minsan, yung practice nila, pag may masama silang experience sa generic drug product, they assume na ang generic ay subperforming. Take for example, yung ating guest speaker, nung, tandaan niyo yung Generics Week? Ay, hindi, Generics Week. AMR Week, AMR, na ang kanyang sabi ay, yung dala ng pasyente ay generic na antibiotic, hindi daw gumaling. Baka naman resistant talaga, kaya hindi gumaling. It is hard to say that a generic product did not perform. It is much easier to say that a generic drug product performs just as well because we have the data to back it up. Kung in-approve yan ng FDA, pareho yan ng bioavailability. Kung pareho yan ng bioavailability, dapat walang pinagkaiba ang performance yan sa katawan. Huwag niyong sasabihin, ay kasi galing India yung active ingredient. Bakit? Isa lang naman ang chemical structure niyan. Pag ba galing China, may dagdag na OH group? Wala naman, di ba? Chemically, they are the same. Purity, they are the same. Wala pong magic, hindi po perket hinawakan ng Indiano, nawawala yung effect. Okay? Hanggat nandun yung pure ingredient at hanggat napatunayan nila na may bioavailability, we expect the same result. Okay? Isipin niyo ang mundo kung walang generics. Isipin niyo ang mundo kung hindi pinapayagan ng FDA yung ganito, at lagi niyang i-require na kailangan mong magpakita ng safety at efficacy, kayang i-monopolize. Example ng Pfizer, Norvasc, siya lang ang magbebenta ng amlodipine. Kasi hindi makakakompete yung lower companies. Kasi napatunayan na ni Pfizer na nagana ang kanyang Norvasc, bago kailangan din patunayan ng lower companies ng safety at efficacy, wala nang magko-compete. Okay? Sa tunay na buhay naman, mga ma'am at sir, ay wala naman po talaga makakagawa ng bagong gamot. What do I mean? Only the large companies can make new drugs. It is just a fact of life. Pag sinabi kayo na Big Pharma, siya lang ang may control sa medicine, ay ganun talaga. Hindi natin maitatanggi yon kasi sila lang yung may kakayanan na magpatunay ng safety at efficacy. Yung kasi yung kailangan mong patunayan safety, efficacy. Makakalaban lang tayo sa generics kasi napatunayan na ng ibang kumpanya. Kaya medyo nagmumura din yung gamot. Ayos din naman class na may generics tayo. Nagmumura yung gamot, mas nagiging abot kaya. Okay? Intayin ninyo, mga 10 to 15 years, semaglutide and yung kanyang mga kapatid na gamot. Pag yan nagmura, siguro babagsak ang presyo niyan, 800. Ang semaglutide ngayon is around 5,000 per month. Isang pen, 5,000. Yung mga Wegovy, mga pampapayat, yan, babagsak presyo niyan. Tanyo, magkano ang insulin? 800 pesos lang ang insulin. Although, ibang usapan pala pag bioproducts. Mamaya. Okay? So again, bioequivalent. Saan natin hinuhugot ang ating bioavailability? AUC. It is the most reliable indicator of bioavailability. Bakit? Kasi hinuhugot ang AUC sa plasma. Obvious naman, pag may nakita tayong gamot sa plasma, may gamot. Nakakapasok yung gamot. Bioavailable po siya. RTW1 na tayo soon. Mag-isip na po kayo ng target enzyme ninyo. Okay. Ang napupusuan ko na target enzyme is myostatin or any cancer enzyme would do. Mga exciting naman. Ang tinira namin last time ay osteoporosis. Ewan ko kung bakit nila natripan na osteoporosis. Nakisama na lang ako. Siya, sige. Osteoporosis. Pero kung gusto niya mas exotic na disease, pwede naman. Or kung gusto niyo, mga GLP-1, gusto niyo sumama sa mga semaglutide, pwede rin naman. Mga blockbuster drugs. Okay? Okay, when we say absolute bioavailability, alam niyo na naman yun, di ba? Okay. Relative bioavailability, alam na rin. Okay. Ano po ito? AUC-A over AUC-B comparing the drug administered. Ay, hindi yung kanina? Hindi, pagko-compare nyo lang AUC nun. Ibag-divide nyo lang yung AUC. Ayun lang. Kaya parang in-specify ko naman yung word eh. Relative to blank. So sa kanya nyo i-compare. So pag sinabing, what is the drug bioequivalent, relative bioavailability of A relative to B? A over B. Okay. Okay. When we are performing relative bioavailability, kapag oral, ang recommendation po ng ating FDA ay oral solution. Bakit oral solution? Oral solution bypasses disintegration dissolution. Yun yung reason kung bakit. Bakit oral solution pag relative bioavailability for oral? Kasi ang oral solution dissolved na. Wala na kayong kailangan i-disintegrate at i-dissolve. Okay. Paano natin masusukat ang bioavailability at bioequivalence? Although alam naman natin ang gold standard, AUC. Pero paano kung hindi available ang AUC? Ito yung, as the examples go down, pa-sketchy na ng pa-sketchy yung basis natin. Okay? So ito po yung mga pwede natin gamitin. Pagbaba, pa-sketchy na ng pa-sketchy. Okay? Okay, una. Plasma drug concentration. Ito yung pinakamadali, pinakasimple, pinaka-effective. Bunot ka dugo, kunin mo sa plasma kung mayroong nakakapasok na gamot. Pag meron, bumuo ka ng AUC. Tapos, pinakasimple. Okay? Pinakasimple, pinakamaganda. Ano ngang ginagawa ng mga iyon? At nagtatakbuhan sa loob ng classroom. Saya naman nila. Mga jack subjects talaga, masaya. Ang jack lang na masaya-saya sa amin ay Philippine History and Constitution. Wala na kayo nun. Parang ang inyo ata ay readings in Philippine History. Amin ay may Constitution kami. Like, yung pinag-usapan lang talaga ay batas. Ganda naman. At saka theology. 1, 2, 3, 4. Church and Sacraments, Marriage and Society, mga ganun-ganun. Ang aming prop ay parang seminarista. So, banal na tao. Na kabit pala ay yung teacher namin. Bago may asawa pala siya sa probinsya. Sobrang iskandalo nun. Bago, ang pinakamababa kong score sa UST ay 3. Nakakuha din man akong 3. Logic. Wala na ata kayong logic, no? Wala na. Logic lang, oo. The philosophy, bago logic. Yung logic talaga, if Marie is a girl, and parang ganon, why is she a table? What? Huh? may ganun. Parang, oo nga, may nga ganun. Parang, all blank is blank. Blank is blank. Therefore, blank is blank. Bagsak ako. Oh, that's talaga. Never again. Buti na lang, wala na kayong logic, wala na kayong physics, may physics pa kami. Senior high. Dito, may physics pa kami. May botany pa kayo, no? Ang botany. Tang-inang botany yun. Okay. Sunod. Ito yung mga pwedeng kunin sa plasma level concentration, Tmax, Cmax, AUC. Importante ang Tmax so that we know kailan pumapalo yung ating gamot. Importante din ang ating Cmax para malaman kung possible bang mag-toxic ang ating gamot. At importante po ang AUC because it is the direct measure of bioavailability. Okay? Please take note that AUC is not limited to pharmacy. Basta makakita kayo ng curve, laging may area nun sa ilalim. So in engineering, marami kayong makakasalubong na AUC. Pero doon, mas accurate yung kanilang measurements. Sunod, pwede po bang sa ihi? Pwede naman. Kaso, again, hindi kasing ganda ng plasma level. Pwede if marami talaga ang nailalabas sa ihi bago unchanged. So, hindi siya metabolite. Iniihing buo yung ating gamot. Pwede. Pwede siyang basihan as a reference for bioavailability. Kung maraming nailalabas na buong gamot. Like unchanged. Hindi literal na pitak ng gamot. Pero unchanged. Buo. Ito, sunod. Paano kung hindi pwede ang plasma level concentration for some reason? Pwede pa naman. Kaso sabi ka nga, pasketchy ng pasketchy. Pwede pong pinagko-compare ang pharmacodynamic effect. Instead of plasma concentration, yung pagtaas ng BP, pagbaba ng BP, pagtaas ng heart rate, ganon. Pharmacodynamic endpoints. However, mas mahirap yon. Like, ang dami mo pang kailangang patunayan. An example of which, take for example, non-systemically absorbed drug products such as corticosteroids, pwede pong pharmacodynamic na. Take for example ay breathing rate ang sinusukat or kapag topical, yung amount ng skin blanching ang sinusukat. Ito, ang pinakamahina na. Pahirap na ng pahirap. Endpoint, clinical endpoints na. Ang sinusukat na po dito, morbidity and mortality. Pwede pa naman, kaso ang hirap at ang tagal. Siguro naman wala nang gagawa nito. Or kung meron, marami silang pasyente. Kung similar, ang formulation A sa clinical endpoints at formulation B sa clinical endpoints, pwede rin naman po. Kaso, sketchy nga. Parang hindi nakapani-paniwala. Pwede po, isa rin po ay in vitro study. In vitro only works if you can establish IV-IVC. In vitro correlation. So kung kaya niyang patunayan ito, pwede na po siya as substitute for bioequivalence. Yeah. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko kahapon. In some cases, in vitro dissolution testing may be used in lieu of in vivo bioequivalence studies. Yan lang naman. Okay. So regulatory perspectives for biowaivers. Kailan magbibigay ang FDA ng biowaiver? The FDA permits waiving of BE studies in which BE is self-evident, and it will also consider giving biowaivers for non-bio study strengths for generic IR, meaning immediate release dosage forms, from a drug product line, provided that 3 criteria is met. So pag sinabing drug product line, take for example, 500, 750, 1,000, pero pare-pareho naman. Hindi mo na kailangan ipatunayan ang bioequivalence ng 3 strengths. Yung pinakamalaki lang ang ipapakita mo. An accepted bioequivalence study is performed on at least 1 strength. So isa na lang po. Take for example, 500 lang yung may BE ka, okay na po yun. Strengths for which the biowaiver is sought should be proportional to the strength on which BE was demonstrated. And an acceptable in vitro dissolution should be presented. So, maganda ang kanyang DISO. Okay? Ito ang recommended natin for bioequivalent studies. Single-dose crossover designs. Pero yan, very technical na yan. Kung kayo ay regulatory officer, siguro sa kanya lang yan iintindihin. Okay. Ito po ay some definitions. Tapos na tayo. Pag sinabi nating ANDA, nasa definitions na tayo, no? ANDA, this is the application for generics. Hindi, lumikdang ako ng isang chapter. Ano na, glossary na to. ANDA ay generic. Anong hindi kailangan patunayan ng ANDA? Safety and efficacy. Bioavailability, the rate and extent that the drug reaches systemic circulation. Ito, minsan ganito lang yung tinatanong sa boards. Kaya tandaan nyo na kung anong sabihin niya. Although iba yung boards ninyo. So good luck na lang po sa inyo. Make me proud. Bioequivalence requirements. Bioequivalent drug products, meaning they both have similar bioavailabilities. Okay, ito specific term. Kapag sinabi natin class na biosimilar, it only applies for biologic drug products. Take for example, yung mga galing bacteria, mga cell cultures. Insulin is an example. Wala pong bioequivalent na insulin. Biosimilar. Hindi siya chemical per chemical na parehong-pareho, pero pareho ang kanyang effect. Hindi katulad ng regular drugs na small molecules. Pag large molecules, hindi may iwasan na may slight differences. So, ibang tawag natin, biosimilar instead of bioequivalent. Brand name, alam niyo kung anong brand name. Alam niyo yung chemical name. Ang chemical name, minsan pareho siya ng generic name. Drug product, yan yung buong dosage form. Drug product performance. Anong dalawang sukat natin for drug product performance? Bioequivalence at bioavailability. Drug substance is our API. Equivalence. Maraming equivalence. Mamaya ko sasabihin kung ano. Generic name. Generic substitution. Pag nagsasubstitute tayo ng generic. Pharmaceutical alternatives. Mamaya ko explain kung ano yan. Equivalence, substitution. Okay. Hindi yun para sa inyo. Okay. Last topic, bago kayo lumayas sa aking buhay. See you when I see you na lamang. Ang exam natin. Mag-quiz tayo bukas. Quizzes lang tayo bukas. Last quizzes. Quizzes. Dalawa na lamang. Yung DISO, kasama na po yun. Kumbaga, dalawang topic, yung tatlong topics merged na. Major exam natin ay Wednesday. Ha? Ano? Hindi pwedeng Tuesday, may counseling ako. Practical exams kami. Kaya baka mag-overtime kami, abutin kami ng hapon. Ha? Pwede naman, kung Monday, kung gusto nyo. Sige, basta lang. Sino gan tinakot nyo, gawa ng exam ko. Papasa ko na lang. Ano daw? Parang cover to cover siya. Standard na, parang ano kasi, talagang dapat cover to cover. Kasi utos yun. Kasi ang final exam ay summative exam. Ano?
Sir, lang po ang copy ang final exam. Percentage, 50-50.
Ay, kundi mga 30% lang siguro.
30 lang.
Wala, matagal na gago. Ox, let's continue. Okay. So, ang ating huling usapan ay usapang generics na naman. So, safety and efficacy of a generic drug product is based that a generic product is a therapeutic equivalent to the branded or innovator drug product. The FDA believes that products classified as therapeutic equivalents can be substituted with the full expectation that they will give the same safety and clinical efficacy. Yun yung pinaka-importante. The FDA believes at naniniwala tayo sa FDA. Right? Masaya siguro maging taga-FDA. Siguro. It's a very challenging but fulfilling work. Ikaw ay aso ng gobyerno. Joke lang. Hindi naman. Pero ano naman kasi, you are in the public health sector. Bayaran ka nga ng gobyerno, pero well, trabaho mong protektahan ang Filipino people against dangerous drug substances. PDEA is only related with dangerous drugs. FDA is everything. Drugs, food, cosmetics, hazardous substances, toys. Toys. Yeah, toys. Hindi pa ba kayo nagliligal? Hawak ng FDA ang laruan ng bata. Oo nga, minsan yung mga pintura ng laruan, mataas ang lead content. Bagay susubo ng bata, delikado yon. Ano pang hawak ng FDA? Pesticides, veterinary products, hawak ng FDA. Kaya understaffed ang FDA. Okay? Now, the question always is, are blank always or really as safe and efficacious as innovator drug products? The simple answer is yes. Yes po, pareho lang po yan. Iba lang po ang gumawa. Pareho po ang ating expected outcome pag yan ang ininom nyo at hindi. Kung sa tingin nyo ay hindi gumagana ang generic drug products, di dapat marami nang namatay sa hypertension. Hindi gumana yung gamot. Dapat marami nang napapahamak kung talagang hindi nagana ang generic. Mas maraming nainom ngayon ng generic kaysa sa branded. Ikaw, kung pipili ka ng choice, kung pipili ka ng gamot, anong pipiliin mo? Generic o branded? Pagpalagay ng generic ay 180, ang branded ay 180 pesos per tablet, bago ang generic ay 22, anong bibilhin mo? Yung 22. Kung naniniwala ka na safe and effective siya. Tanyong Viagra. Oh, example pa lang, Viagra. Ang Viagra, 750 something, isang tableta. Isang tableta, ganong kamahal ang Viagra. Ang RightMed na sildenafil ay parang 88 lang ata. Okay? Yung mga ganun. Kaya, talagang importante ang generic drug products. I am an advocate of generic drug products. Okay. So, ano ba ang sinasabi kanina na therapeutic equivalent? Pag sinabi natin na therapeutic equivalent, dapat siya ay pharmaceutically equivalent at siya ay bioequivalent. Yung bioequivalent, na-cover na natin yan. Paano natin masasabing bioequivalent ang dalawang drug products? Pareho sila ng bioavailability. Okay. Meaning, similar ang kanilang AUC. Pharmaceutical equivalence, yan ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Pag sinabi natin pharmaceutical equivalence, they must be identical dosage forms. Yan yung una. Tablet-tablet, capsule-capsule. Suspension-suspension. Solution-solution, syrup-syrup. Paulit-ulit, paulit-ulit, dapat pareho. Hindi po pwede na ang tablet ay isa-substitute mo with syrup. Hindi pwede yon. They are not therapeutic equivalents. Una, parehong dosage form. Take note that nire-recognize naman po ng FDA na ang capsule at ang tablet ay very similar. Okay. Sunod, they must be of same strength. So 500, 500, 500, 500. Okay. Pharmaceutical equivalents deliver identical amounts of API over the identical dosing period. Meaning, pareho siya ng pag-itan. Hindi po magka-generic ang dalawang parehong paracetamol kung yung pag-inom ng isa ay every 3 hours, bago yung pag-inom ng original ay every 4 hours. Dapat same regimen, same dosage form, same amount of active ingredient. Ano ba po ang kailangan para pareho sila? They must have similar or identical standards on potency, content uniformity, disinteg, dissolution. Kaya po, kailangan nyong bumili ng USP. Hindi kayo. Pag kayo nagtatrabaho na sa regulatory, kailangan ng company nyo may access sa USP. Kasi hindi nila pwedeng i-declare na generic substitute ang inyong gamot kung bagsak kayo sa compendial standards, kung nasa USP ang inyong gamot. So, dapat pasa din kayo sa USP. Ang mga drug disco things. Good luck po sa mga incoming third year. Drug disco. Take note that the FDA does not recognize different salt forms or prodrugs of the same API as the same. Take for example, amoxicillin monohydrate versus amoxicillin dihydrate. They are not the same. They are of different salt forms. And hindi po siya pwedeng maging therapeutic equivalent. Kasi hindi sila pharmaceutic equivalent. Kahit po, example, ampicillin, bacampicillin, prodrug yung isa, bawal yon, hindi yun equivalent. Kaya po strict tayo sa criteria for API. Ano ang pwedeng magkaiba? Ibang excipient, ibang flavor, ibang color, ibang size, yon, pwede yon. Ibang preservative, ibang amounts ng impurities, basta kaya niya pa rin patunayan na bioequivalent siya. Yun ang pwedeng pagkaiba. Yun din naman kasi ang hindi nyo magagaya sa innovator drug product. Alam po kung anong bioequivalence. We talked about that, di ba? Here are some Issues in establishing pharmaceutical equivalence. Subok ba yan? Yan. No, basahin nyo na lang. Una, particle size. Ito, hindi naman to required ni FDA. Nasa libro niyo, di ba? Hindi naman kailangan ni FDA. Kaso, baka dito kayo bumagsak sa pag-a-apply. Particle size. Pag masyadong malaki ang particle size ninyo, although pareho kayo, like literal, paracetamol, pero mas malaki ang particle size mo, baka mas pangit ang dissolution profile mo. Hindi ka makapag-establish ng equivalence. Okay, so kailangan yun sa particle size. Polymorphs. Magkaibang polymorphs, magkaibang physicochemical properties, baka iba din po ang makalabas na bioavailability. Hydrous at anhydrate, it can also affect. Impurities, possible din po. Hindi po, ang impurities naman, usually naman napakakonti. Like for example, 99.9% pure. Di may 0.01 ka na hindi pure. Pag mga tonelada yon, madami yon. Yung 0.1% na yon, madami yon. So it may affect our drug. Stability, pag pangit ang pagkaka-formulate ninyo, baka mabilis masira yung active ingredient. Chirality is also important. You must show the same chiral centers. And for biotechnology-derived drugs, you must show biosimilarity. Delivery systems, size and shape, excipients. Yeah. Okay. Ito ang sunod, pharmaceutical alternatives. Hindi po ito for substitution. Hindi siya for generic substitution. Pag sinabi nating pharmaceutical alternative, pareho ng API, pareho kayo ng API, pero iba yung dosage form. Take for example, yung isa solution, yung isa tablet. Pareho namang paracetamol, pareho din namang gagana, pero hindi nyo pwedeng i-substitute. Kasi magkaiba sila ng dosage form. They are not pharmaceutically equivalent. Isa pa po, yung strength. Pareho namang paracetamol, yung isa nga lang, mas madami. Hindi rin po siya pharmaceutical equivalent. Siya ay alternative. Route of administration should be the same para maging pharmaceutical alternative. Okay? Something specific for IV. For IV drugs, we automatically assume they are the same. Kasi they do not exhibit absorption. So, basta magbigay ka ng 40 mg IV, 40 mg ang papasok. So, yung AUC nila pareho, generic bioequivalent sila. Pero, sometimes, pag hindi stable ang solution ninyo, pag naarawan ng konti, nasisira yung gamot, they may now show stability-related therapeutic non-equivalence. Possible po na ganun. Yeah, I forgot. Papa Wheel of Names ako mamaya. May pamimigay ako bukas. Kaso, nasa kotse. Okay. Ha? Mamimigay ako sampal? Hindi. May nagbigay sa akin ng isang kahon ng memes. Ipamigay ko daw sa inyo. Ha? Hindi nga ako nakakotse. Nakamotor ako nga today. So bukas ko ibibigay yung memes. Mag Wheel of Names tayo bukas. Yung memes na drug reference, hindi yung patient counseling guide. Yung makapal. Yung ganun. Alam ko latest. Libre lang naman ng memes, ang alam ko. Unless binibili mo sa Shopee yon, magbabayad ka. Binabayar lang yung delivery fee. Hindi ko alam. Pero isang box eh. Pero magkano naman? Naganon ko eh. So siguro, 8 piraso. Mamimigay ang 4 dito bago 4 sa counseling. Okay. Sunod po na pinagmumulan ng therapeutic non-equivalence, excipients and impurities might also interfere with equivalence. Pagkakaiba mga pinaglalagay ninyo, they may interfere with drug absorption. Kahit pa pareho kayo ng amount and strength, hindi pa rin pareho ang bioequivalence. For polymorphic forms, isa-isa ko pala. For polymorphic forms, a change in polymorph may impact bioavailability. In terms of the definition of pharmaceutical equivalence, polymorphs are not considered to be bioequivalent. Kahit pala magkaiba kayo ng polymorph. Nalito ako. Ako nalito. Salt ang bawal na magkaiba. Salt. Potassium salt. Example, amoxicillin, wag amoxicillin. Propranolol sodium, propranolol potassium, magkaibang gamot 'yon. Pero pag propranolol, magkaiba sila ng crystalline form, pareho siya sa mata ng FDA. Pero physico-chemically, they are different. So kailangan i-take into consideration physico-chemical properties of our polymorphs. Ang polymorph kasi, hindi naman kasi pinapangalanan. Crystal form yun eh. So pag binili mo, phenytoin. Yun lang. Saka mo lang malalaman pag sinilip mo na sa microscope. Particle size, nabanggit ko na po ito kanina, dapat pareho ang ating particle size. Okay, ito po, question. Isang tanong, isang sagot, lagot. Okay. Kung ikaw, Ms. Resham, tanongin kita. Take for example. Take for example, sildenafil. Paboritong example, di ba? Maganda kasi example lagi ang sildenafil. Sildenafil, nung unang ginagawa, ay para sa hypertension. Na-discover ng Pfizer na nakakapagpatigas. In-approve ng FDA siya for erectile dysfunction. Now, after a few years, inaral uli siya for other disease. So, naano siya for pulmonary arterial hypertension. Pwede ba na hindi ka na magpasa ng isa pang application kung ibang indication? Dahil pero yung una mong indication napatunayan mo safe, effective. Bakit hindi pwedeng, ito na rin? Ibang disease. Hindi pwede. In short, hindi pwede. Kasi iba na yung ginagamot mo eh. So iba na yung indication. Ngayon, there is now a important question. Okay. Bakit pa? Bakit pa? Napatunayan mo na nga na safe and effective. So bakit pa ibang brand ang kailangan? Iba pang application. Take for example, semaglutide. Bukod sa ating sildenafil. So sildenafil, 2 case. Erectile dysfunction at saka pulmonary arterial hypertension. Semaglutide, we have 2 brands. We have our Ozempic for type 2 diabetes, and we have our Wegovy for obesity. Parehong semaglutide. Magkaiba lang ng konti yung amount. Pero, hindi sila pareho. Ulitin ko ha, pareho siya ng active ingredient. Pinagkaiba lang niya ay brand. Pero hindi ka pwedeng magbigay ng Ozempic sa obesity at hindi ka pwedeng magbigay ng Wegovy sa diabetes. Kahit pa pareho silang semaglutide. Yun yung nakakaloko eh. Isn't it the same? Yes, in a way. Pero ang approved ay itong drug na to, ang approved ay itong drug na to. Therefore, yun talaga ang pwede mong gamitin. Okay? So in short, hindi po pwede. A definitive answer can only be attained through a clinical study for each indication. So, hindi po automatic na palibhasa meron kang isang gamot na pwede na, pwede sa ibang sakit, pwede na rin. So, kailangan po talagang ipakita ang different clinical outcomes. Okay? Alam nyo ba ang kwento ng thalidomide? Lagi naman. Ginagamit pa rin yan sa cancer-related nausea and vomiting. Okay. Formulation and manufacturing changes. Paano kung nag-iba ka ng formulation? Nag-out of stock ang supply ng isang excipient? Nangyayari yan. Nangyayari po yan. Take for example, nung panahon ng Neosep. May Neosep na nun eh. Ang gamit natin dati sa Neosep ay propanolamine. Phenylpropanolamine. Ngayon, ang gamit na natin ay phenylephrine. Kung kayo ay mag-iiba ng active ingredient, palit pa rin yun. Bagong application yun. So, since pinagbawal ang phenylpropanolamine, PPA, lahat ng may phenylpropanolamine, nagpasa ng bago sa FDA. Gastos nun. Ito po, example po ito na ito. Ito. Kung pili kayo ng kulay, pag red 40. Familiar kayo sa mga ganun, di ba? Nag-cosmetics kayo. Yung iba. Yung mga kulay na yon, hindi po yun basta kulay. Chemicals po yon. Pag biglang binan ng FDA ang kulay na gamit mo sa iyong tabletas, magbabago ka ng formulation. Kahit pa, walang kinalaman, kulay lang naman eh. Kailangan mo magpakita ulit sa FDA na hindi po nabago ang bioequivalence. Ang bioavailability. Isa rin po, sunod, take for example, meron kang gamot na bagong gawa. Ang kaya ng factory mo, originally, ay 10,000 tablets per day. Yun yung simula, kasi bago pa lang yung iyong gamot. So, mababa pa yung demand. Sumikat, bigla ang iyong gamot. So, bumili ka ng bagong factory, inilipat mo yung paggawa doon. Kailangan mo rin po ulit magpasa sa FDA ng post-approval changes. Tapos na? Yeah. Okay. Like for example, sa Amherst, kung nakadaan kayong Amherst sa may Laguna, iba't iba yung paggawa ng gamot doon. Meron doon small scale or pilot testing, mga 1,000 tablets per day lang. Then kapag madamihan na, ililipat ng factory. Pero same lang yung campus. Okay, so balik po tayo. Yay! Di pa, wait. Dun sa definitions. Glossary po tayo. Pharmaceutical alternatives. Pag sinabi nating pharmaceutical alternatives, same ingredient or same active component, pero ibang salt, ester, or complex. So parehong paracetamol, pero iba yung nakadikit sa kanya. Another example of pharmaceutical alternative, different dosage forms and strengths within a product line by a single manufacturer or are pharmaceutical alternatives. Take for example, bumili ka ng Ozempic na 1 milligram. Pero, ang reseta lang talaga sa iyo sa unang linggo ay 0.25. pwede mong bilangin na lang yung clicks pag mag-administer ka ng 0.25. Okay? That is an example of pharmaceutical alternative. Parehong gamot, parehong kumpanya, pero magkaiba ng strength. Okay? Take a note that the FDA currently assumes that a tablet and capsule are pharmaceutical alternatives. Magkaiba po sila. You cannot, take for example, wala pong mefenamic na capsule. Pwede ka pong tablet. Hindi po yon generic substitution. Dapat tablet sa tablet. Pharmaceutical equivalence, ito yung parehong active ingredient, parehong salt or ester, pareho yung dosage form, pareho yung route of administration, pareho ang strength at concentration. Anong pinagkaiba? Excipients, kulay, lasa, size, shape. Yun ang pwede. Pharmaceutical substitution, ito yung act na nagpapalit ka ng pharmaceutical alternative. Take for example, pabili nga po ng paracetamol syrup. Naku, wala ka pong syrup. Suspension lang. Okay ka lang po yun. Yun po ay hindi generic substitution. Yun po ay pharmaceutical substitution. Nagpalit ka ng dosage form. Pero same active ingredient. Therapeutic substitution ay ibang gamot talaga, pero parehong sakit. Pabili nga pong Ponstan. Naku, wala akong Ponstan. Okay ka lang pong okay ka lang na Alaxan. Yung magkaiba ng ang Buscopan. Ang Buscopan ay hindi na NSAID. So, yung example, walang mefenamic, pero may ibuprofen. Ano na po yon? Therapeutic alternative na po yon. They treat the same disease, but they are of different chemical entity. Reference listed drug, this is your innovator drug. Ito yung my full new drug application. Okay? Therapeutic alternatives are different ingredients that have the same therapeutic or clinical objectives. Okay. So again, ano lang ang pwedeng i-generic substitution? Ano lang ang description ng generic substitution? Dapat siya ay therapeutic equivalent. What makes up therapeutic equivalence? Siya dapat ay pharmaceutical equivalent and bioequivalent. Okay? Kaya po, pag nagdi-dispense tayo ng gamot at may substitution, you need to consider that. Dapat bioequivalent, which is guaranteed by the FDA, and pharmaceutical equivalent. Ito po ang therapeutic equivalent, approved as safe and effective. They are pharmaceutical equivalent, same active drug, same dosage form, meets the same standards. And they are bioequivalent. Ito talaga. Yan lang. Kung may iuuwi man kayo na kaalaman ngayong araw na ito, ay are. We believe that when we give therapeutic equivalence, we have full expectations that our drug will act the same efficacy and safety as the innovator drug product. Okay. So, tomorrow, may dalawang quizzes. Then, sa Lunes, ang major exam.